We're talking of a skilled worker and student dependents in particular, and in general, all dependents that come under any other visa category. The point of today's conversation is to talk to those people who arrive in the UK as dependents of the main applicant. So, for example, somebody comes as a skilled worker visa, on a skilled worker visa, on a care worker visa, for example, because there's a lot of these happening these days. Or they come with their student spouse and then the relationship breaks down. What do they do there? If the relationship has broken down and they are left on their own and the main applicant is threatening you that, okay, the relationship is broken down, I'm going to get you sent back to the country, then what do you do? First of all, do not despair because there are options available to you. So let's understand what those options are going to be. Let's get started with, first of all, making an application on your own. If you're able to get a sponsorship of your own, you are able to break away and make an application on your own. In order to do that application, you must obviously comply with all the requirements of the rules, whatever they would require in that particular category that you're going for. Likewise, if you are on a student dependent visa, so your main applicant is a student and you have been a dependent and now the relationship is broken down and you are being threatened that you are going to be thrown out and you're going to be thrown back to your country and you are in no state to go back, then you can certainly make an application to try and stay in the country on a different basis. Now, of course, there is a rule that came last year that was introduced by the previous government that said that students and dependents cannot switch onto other categories, or they cannot switch unless the courses have been finished. Again, if you have not overstayed in the UK, you can always go back, apply, and come again. If you are within the country and you don't have any other options and you have a situation where there is no option of going back, you may have children with you, you may have problems back home, you may have had a relationship of your choice where you cannot go back to the family that was supporting you before. If things like that have happened or are in the mix, then there are other applications that you can do outside of immigration rules. Now, this is the concept that I must explain a little bit in more detail, and I'll probably do that in a different video. But the concept of an outside immigration rules application, people ask me a lot of times, oh, you've told me I haven't completed 20 years. I haven't got 7 years child in the UK. I haven't got more than half my life spent in the UK. And now I don't have any other choice because I'm an overstay. What can I do? And we sometimes talk about applications to be done outside immigration rules. The idea behind that is that when you do not fall within the rules, when you do not fall within a particular category where you can qualify under the rules, then you can still present your circumstances and argue that you should be granted status outside immigration rules. Now, the reason I chose this topic today mainly was because I've had consultations in recent times where I've seen people being blackmailed on this point, people being scared on this point that you better behave or I will send you back because I will get your visa cancelled. That is not something that you have to put up with. If something like that has occurred or something like that has happened, you can have other options. Of course, the point is you need to speak to somebody who understands what's going on and then take the next steps so that somebody who is dealing with your case understands exactly what needs to be done. If you have children with you, if you have ongoing contact with the children are not British nationals, children do not have indefinite leave at that stage because you are all dependents of this main applicant. Now it depends if the children are staying with the main applicant or are going to go with you. If they are going to go with you, what are their circumstances? What are their best interests like? So again, looking at the rules, if you cannot make it under the rules, you can still present your case to the Home Office and they can still look at your case and apply a discretion in your matter. Now, discretions are not easy to apply, and neither would I say that in every case you can expect a discretion to be applied. But from case to case basis, if the cases have been presented properly with the correct evidence, with the correct understanding of what you're arguing, then there is a possibility that they will look at your case and it can be decided outside immigration rules and on compassionate grounds or exceptional circumstances or compelling circumstances. So, whatever that situation may be. The other important thing, people ask, if I've got out of a relationship, can I get married? And a lot of people are really worried about this. Oh, we got married back home. What do? We cannot go back. And now I can't get out of this relationship because he's refusing to divorce or she's refusing to divorce and I can't do anything. Well, you can apply to the court here. You can get out of that relationship. You can get a divorce done. And if successful, and then you want to enter into a different relationship and get married, certainly you can do that. There is nothing stopping you from that. This is the same kind of idea that people who are overstayers in the UK, they worry. A lot of times I get this question. A lot of times they think, oh, I couldn't marry because I have no legal status. That's not correct. If you do not have legal status, but you have a valid passport, then you can get married in the UK. Of course, the most important point being that the relationship has to be genuine. If it is a genuine relationship and you wish to get married in the UK, the Home Office will not stop you. The only reason that they interview you is to see whether or not your relationship is genuine. If your relationship is genuine, then the Home Office are not going to stop you from getting married. You can get married, because then comes the second stage when you make an application on the basis of that marriage, and then the Home Office will apply the immigration rules on you, but not before then. So if you are a dependent, the relationship has ended, you wish to get married, you have come out of that relationship, you can get married and then apply on the basis of that relationship, and you can be granted status from within the UK. If not, and you have to follow the rules, then I would suggest follow the rules, because where people worry that if I go back, I will not be able to come again, that is only in those cases where you've done something wrong here. If you've only overstayed and submitted an application and then you're waiting for that application to be decided, and in the meanwhile you get into a relationship and you wish to go back and apply for entry clearance to come back on a spouse visa, nothing wrong with that. Yes, if there's a different scenario where I say where people have kind of taken the equivalent of a restaurant menu in immigration terms and said, okay, let's do a European application, asylum application, human rights application, any other leave to remain application, skilled worker application, blah, blah, blah. If things like that are being done, then the Home Office may refuse your entry clearance application at a later stage on the basis that you've tried to frustrate immigration rules, you've tried to frustrate removal, you've tried to make frivolous applications. Those are the paragraph 320 refusals that we used to hear, and now they are under 9.8.3 and onwards. So if that is the kind of situation that you are facing, then please talk to somebody who understands your case, who understands how to handle it, and then you take it on from there. But as far as dependents are concerned and options are concerned, please don't think that if your main applicant has told you you are now going to go to hell, that you must go to hell. No, you do not. If you still have options and you still can do something, provided you go to the right person who understands what needs to be done with that. I hope that is helpful. Thank you very much.